The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome to CyberSoul, the podcast where we dive deep into the digital chaos, explore the messy truth behind cybersecurity, and ask the questions no one else seems to be asking. I'm your host, Keelan Conan, and around here, we don't pretend to have all the answers. What we do have is curiosity, bold conversations, and a mission to understand how we stay secure and human in a world that feels increasingly hacked, digitally and emotionally. Each week, we sit down with the people building, breaking, defending, and redefining the future. Whether it's quantum computing, ransomware, disinformation, or the people behind the breach, we're going there. So buckle up. It's time to dig beneath the firewalls and into the soul of cyber.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, the nerd tag.
Yeah. We're at the Microsoft office in Atlanta. This is my friend Jason Myers. I'm Keelan Conan. And we work together at OpenText. And we love to talk about AI.
We do.
What do you want to say about AI today?
Well, I think we're in really interesting times right now. Especially being in the channel, and MSPs have their vendors trying to sell them AI.
Yep.
They're trying to implement AI for their own business. They are trying to implement AI for their customers, and attackers are trying to use AI.
Hackers are definitely using AI.
Hackers are using AI.
They're like leading the charge.
They are leading the charge. And the MSPs are trying to make sense of it, right? They want to know, who do I trust? Who can I believe? There's something new every day, I spend 2 hours a day immersing myself in AI, and every day I get farther behind than I was today.
Yeah. So what do we say to people who are overwhelmed by it or who are just absolutely resisting it and think it's going to be the downfall of society?
Yeah. You bring up an interesting point, because there's a lot of AI pushback right now, and I've seen it a lot in the last 2 weeks, right? The data centers that are the size of small cities.
Yeah.
Right? So there's environmental concerns.
Using up all the water.
Using up the water. Electricity, taking the jobs, right? Yeah. And so there is a lot of fear around it, but I think largely it's overblown.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a job creator.
Okay.
In the long run.
Yep.
But for the people who are afraid or don't know where to start or don't know what to do, just sit down and ask.
Play with it, right?
It'll play with it. It'll tell you,
yeah.
Right? And it's not that scary. It's not, and it's not quite as brilliant as everyone makes it out to be.
It's so dumb sometimes.
It really is, yeah.
He said that to me the other
It is.
day.
It's so dumb. It can be frustrating.
Yeah. Because we have to train it. It's just like anybody, like hiring an assistant or, running a coffee shop. You have to train people how to do things. And that's what AI is.
Right.
We get to train it and make it what we want. Right. And I think one of the other things that's important is the energy we're putting into the AI. Developers used to always have this, but now we as creators of the AI, like our energy gets to be positive.
Right.
While we're training and building this.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And, the thing is, AI doesn't judge. Meaning, if you ask it to break it down further, if you ask it to be more simple, it doesn't think you're stupid.
Right.
I use ELI 5 all the time for AI.
What's EL5 for the people?
ELI 5. Explain it like I'm 5. And I say that to the AI.
Wow.
Tell me how to do this. Sometimes it'll come back, it'll be so complicated I don't understand it. And I'm like, no.
Break it down.
Copilot, explain it like I'm 5.
Right.
And it will.
Right.
It'll do that for you. One step at a time. So you don't have to be technical to use it.
And it's okay to ask questions. I think that, there's some generations where it wasn't okay to ask questions because you're asking impatient.
You should know that by now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we get to be vulnerable and ask questions and, use it for how we want to create our world.
Right.
Right. Yeah. What else do you want to tell people
about AI? I think, at least from our business anyway, it's probably one of the biggest productivity unlocks that small businesses have ever seen. But the other side of the coin, it's also, it's got its dangerous side, and it's also expanded the threat vector and the attack surface bigger than anyone's really ever seen before.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the threat actors are driving innovation right now because
Absolutely.
they're ahead of it and they're focused on it. So how do we best protect our businesses or just our assets and our own data, as individuals?
That's a great question. I think for the average, this is why SMBs use an MSP, right? To say, is what I'm doing safe? Is what I'm doing, acceptable?
Right.
Because you really can get over your skis a little bit if you're out there vibe coding an app that has access to all your sensitive data and, it starts running rogue. And, it's not like it has a mind of its own and it's going to be evil and go run rogue. But if you don't set it up properly, it can cause problems.
Yeah. Yeah. So buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
What else do we want to tell people? I think, so this is being recorded on the first week of June, 2026. So we're basically experiencing our version of the Industrial Revolution, right?
Yeah.
Like the world is shifting very, very fast. For some people it's getting better. For some people it's not. So yeah, what else do we want to tell people?
I some of the positive things, and I know I'm a little bit late to the game, but I got in a driverless taxi last night.
I haven't been in one yet.
You haven't?
Like a Waymo.
Yeah,
right?
It was a Waymo. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was a weird experience to sit there.
It's like Demolition Man and Total Recall, all of like our sci-fi is finally catching up. And
Absolutely.
We're living in it.
Yeah. So, we're not maybe someday we won't see people dying in drunk driving accidents or, other things like that, or driving tired or whatever. So there's going to be applications of it, I think, that we haven't seen yet. Like when the web came out, and we just had a bunch of web pages out there. No one thought that you were going to stand on the corner and order a cab or book a flight or do your banking or that kind of thing. So I don't think we've really seen, it become ubiquitous yet and what it's actually going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I'm a big sci-fi geek.
Same. Yeah.
I love Philip K. Dick, all of his books,
Yes.
it was like he saw the future. Ursula Le Guin was a favorite of mine too. And I think that there's a lot to look forward to, even though, we still have war and war is becoming drone led.
And AI is leading the charge on that too.
Yeah.
AI is not yet making any autonomous kill decisions, but it's saying you need to blow this up, and it makes mistakes, and we've seen some mistakes it's made.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we got to be careful. It's the same thing with nuclear, right? The first application of it was a bomb, not power.
Right.
So, now we're seeing it, the weaponization of it, which is the downside of it. But, is it utopia or dystopia? I try to be positive and think it's going to be utopian.
I do too, because human beings have survived so many millennia and so many iterations,
Absolutely.
more than we even know about. Like there could have already been an apocalypse. We don't know.
We could be back.
Weird. Yeah, we could. Well, we were talking about that last night, right? Like, do we live in a hologram?
Right.
Is it some sort of video game?
Right.
All kinds of, maybe. I love Tron.
Tron's great.
The beginning of Tron is really about living in this environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I believe in the utopian version as well. Flying cars are coming.
Yep.
I think. Yeah, I think there's a lot.
There's unknowns, like I'm going to an event in Salt Lake on Sunday, and in somewhere just outside of Salt Lake City, they're building a data center that is twice the size of Manhattan, two times the size of Manhattan for a data. Like, I think of a data center as like a Walmart. This is 60 Walmart supercenters put together.
That's a lot.
So it's huge, right?
Yeah.
So
what do you think about that? Because I feel like, we're trying to greenwash certain aspects, and I love, being able to use solar.
Yes.
I personally don't love the wind because I did a whole project on it in college, and I saw how much fossil fuels it takes to gather the wind.
Set it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're using technology to be kind of a green version, but at the same time, we're using up a lot of resources.
Yeah.
So I worry about that, especially because water is such a problem. As being a Californian, we're always, kind of robbing water from different places.
Yeah, it's not sustainable, but, I've seen some news, on the cutting edge out there where, I can't remember the name of the company, but they actually, this is no joke. They got, a cluster of brain cells to play Doom.
Whoa.
So, the idea is that maybe organic matter, because your brain, all the things that your brain does, all your thoughts, your dreams, everything you do, takes up the power of a low wattage incandescent light bulb, right?
Mhm.
So organic matter or things like that could be the way to get away from silicon-based, electricity-based type,
Okay.
consumption of
And that's
AI.
the thing. I'm like, hey, AI, like, can we cure some of these diseases, which we're seeing happen?
Correct.
Can we
Yeah.
cure some of these, I know we don't need so many power lines everywhere. At the turn of the
Yeah.
century, the 19th century, you see all the phone lines,
Yeah.
tons of, I think that those sort of changes are going to subtly kind of happen and erupt.
Yes. And maybe we get away from general AI, meaning, you got ChatGPT or Claude that you ask it anything, it can generate a picture, it can write you a poem, it can do math, it can do programming, it can do everything. I think you might start seeing more specialized LLMs, like
Right.
one that just does protein folding and protein folding only so that it can find new drugs and, cures for diseases.
Right.
So you might see more specific applications of it as opposed to this thing that can do everything.
Right. One last question before
Yep.
we wrap up. What do you think of quantum computing, and how is that going to change the AI landscape?
Well, I know you nerd out on that quite a bit. I follow it a little bit. I don't know exactly where we're at, but I've been seeing more and more articles of the fusion of quantum and AI.
We're getting close.
And I know that's your wheelhouse. So what do you think is going to happen?
I think from the research I've done and the people I've spoken to, I do think that it's going to shift. Like we're putting a lot of training and money into these AI engines. I think with quantum, because it's such an unknown and we haven't really experienced it yet. I think it'll shift everything, and it's gonna shift everything in a really big way. That's why I worry about the data centers and stuff like that, because we're using all these resources, we're taking up all this space, and I think with the quantum computing, it's going to blow everything that we're doing now out of the water. And it's going to make a lot of what we're doing now obsolete very quickly.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. I do have a little bit
That's just my intuition.
I think you're right on that. I do have a slight fun conspiracy theory.
Oh, I love it. Let's go.
So I think it was somewhere around 2006, 2008, a company called CERN fired up the Hadron Particle Collider in Europe.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there was a big ceremony and they launched this particle collider. And there was a group of scientists that, were legitimately concerned that it was going to, tear open the fabric of the universe and create a black hole and suck us all in, right? Well, that didn't happen, I don't think.
But did it?
Or did we just jump timelines over, right? We're on the weird timeline now, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
sometimes I feel like, and they've talked about the Arab Spring in 2012.
Yes.
And having, that sort of shift as well.
And Harambe? I don't know that one too much.
I don't know that one too much.
There was some gorilla.
If you guys know, let us know about the Harambe.
But yeah, I think we're up for some exciting and fun times. I like to stay on the positive side of it. Yeah, there's downsides, but I think that there's a lot of upside, and hopefully the future's bright.
Well, it's what we make of it, right?
Right.
So
yeah,
I think it's bright. Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Keelan.
You're awesome.